Good morning everybody, welcome to Juma Game Reserve, and it's still a little bit chilly in the air, but the sky is blue and I'm sure it's going to warm up very quickly this morning. My name's Tara and Sebastian's joining me on camera this morning with Mark back in flight control, and a beautiful, beautiful light on the giraffe here. There's a couple more right over the other side of the open area, but this one definitely caught our eye just with the sun rising and that beautiful first golden light, the golden hour of the morning. Brilliant for photography, and I've been trying to get a couple of shots but she hasn't been cooperating. But there she goes. At least she stuck around for us anyway. That's the most important thing. And if you are into photography, and especially wildlife photography, I say this is the best time of day, just after sunrise and just before sunset, the golden hour. And you can see that light really does just pick out some beautiful detail on the animal, and it just gives them that an extra something, especially sitting in between the sun and the giraffe. It's the best position to be in. And if we do have any new viewers on board, welcome on board. And if anybody would like to ask questions, then please do questions@juma.com. And today is the last day of the Dung Quiz 2, so I hope you brought your brains, and we'll see if we can get you a few Dung questions this morning. And you need to keep a total, see how well you're doing. And if this is your last drive with me today, then send in, if you've got anything higher than, let's say 70% or more, and tell me the number of correct answers out of the total that you've been doing with me. So whether it's a couple of drives or more, then let me know. Now let's see if we've got some expert dungers out there. Hi Seb.
They won't see it though.
And thanks for the update. Apparently a few people are saying there were some lions last night on the eastern side of the dam. Mark's saying he heard them this morning calling, so I think we need to check on Bubu Road. Apparently on that side of the dam, so they may have walked up. They could have actually walked right past camp and gone out that side, so we'll have a look. Fine tracks. Henry, come in.
Morning, Sarah, how are you?
Good, thanks Henry, how are you?
Well.
Good to hear. Apparently there was some Ngala at Gowrie Dam last night on the eastern side. I'm not sure if they went up on the road or not. We're going to have a look.
Okay, but thank you. I don't want to go
Copy that, thank you. Apparently there's some leopard tracks also just crossed somewhere over by where the giraffe was. Let's see if we can find where they went to. going to take this avenue. Henry's taking that avenue. Okay, I'm going to have to swap hats very soon. So still a bit of a chilly start to the mornings. I cannot wait for when we actually have the warm start, so you don't need to bring out a coat, you don't need to bring out anything extra, just shorts and t-shirts. That's the way to go. Lots of them. Tell you what, this is going to be a bonus question because I can't resist. Just a quick one. Turn that around so you can see that. So, I don't think we've actually done this particular type of creature. But this is very common in our, I'll give you some clue that it's not an animal. Okay, so it's a feathered friend, because this white is very characteristic, and you find that in all bird dung. It's the uric acid that comes out. You'll also find it in reptile dung as well, but that's the one to look out for with birds. So if you see white like that with brown, then it's very characteristic of birds. So for your bonus question, so this one doesn't count, so this can make up for an answer that you might have got wrong. So for the bonus question, who dung it? We're at Gary Dam. There's a lot of dung around here from these birds. As I say, we haven't actually done this one before, but there's quite a number of them around here. You see them a lot. You hear them. And they tend to be in a flock rather than on their own. So that might help you.
So we show them the trike maybe?
Sorry?
So we show them the trike?
There's not really a nice one. I was looking, and there's not really a nice one to show. There's a lot of them, and they're all walking over each other.
Okay.
So yes, so you can see how it's quite a long piece of dough, but not very wide. You can see it's wide. My finger's wider than it. So, questions@juma.com. Who dung it? I'll just write this one in my dung book before heading on. Let's see if we can find where these lions went. It'd be wonderful to actually catch up with them. Okay. Hi Dawn, good morning to you over there in Washington. Wanting to know how long is the neck of an adult giraffe? And it's roughly around 2 meters in length. Quite a... Yes, good morning to you as well, Hippo. Quite a long neck. Let's see. I think Henry might be following up on the leopard tracks. There we go. Can you get it from there, do you think?
No, that's too close. But I've stopped.
Oh, I was thinking off
Oh,
them.
okay, yeah,
Yeah?
sure, I can do that,
Yeah, he's going to drop the camera off the side.
yeah. Okay, I'm going some down.
Okay.
Okay, you should be fine now.
Okay, can you get this one?
Yeah.
Or do I actually roll the vehicle forward so you're right over the top of it?
No, that's okay.
Sure.
I can make a grab from here. Yeah. Hope nobody's filming my butt from the damn cam.
Yeah. Is this coming out okay?
Yeah.
Can you see?
Yeah,
So there
very
we go.
nice.
We've got back pad, 3 lobes, the toes, nice and oval. And look, this is where the back pad is.
Sure, that's a nice one.
Quite a distance from it. Okay, so there's the toes. Almost about the same size as my hand actually. This is, let's just see, about 13 centimetres. 14 centimetres, sorry. So about 14 centimetres. And it's not the left track, it is the right track. Now if you look carefully, you'll see when I put my fingers actually in the toes, they actually match. You see that? So where I put my fingers, it fits nicely, but if I put my left hand in there, if I try and put my fingers in there, look, my middle finger overshoots and so does this one. So that's how you can tell if it's a left or right track. So it's the right track.
Should cast it.
We could, but I don't know what time these creatures are around here. So that is your first proper question. So do you want to have a go at the first one? Oh, the paint's just fallen out. That's not helpful. Got some sticks if we're going to cast it.
Do you want to cast it?
Yeah, you see my thing's too small. I need to get a bigger pot to cast that one.
Okay.
If it's still here, I'm going to come back. I will. Okay, unfortunately, I can't hear. Okay, are we good?
Yes.
Mark, if you can hear me, my ears stopped working. So you're gonna have to talk on the radio. The earpiece has stopped working. Yeah, the earpiece has stopped working. I think we need to just put some, or join it again. Yeah, it is. Unfortunately.
Okay, you got 25 or so ounces on the third.
Okay. Do a quick hat change.
Gilly came first.
So Gilly came first. Well done, Gilly.
Alan.
King Alan. Jack. Donna. Cindy. Ashley, South Carolina.
And
Vicky. Awesome. So you guys have got the bonus question right. And as I say, hopefully quite a number of you got it right. Because it's a very common bird. There's a lot of them. They are known as fleas, I think, in the chat room. Sorry, Seb. Okay, I thought I could use this radio, but I don't think so. Okay. Experimenting there, Mark, go again.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I was getting a lot of interference on the radio. Huh. Interesting. So they live in flocks. They're extremely good at giving an alarm call if there is any trouble around. So what is the answer? The answer is guinea fowl. Guinea fowl. See if we can come back this way. I just want to head up towards the top of the road. That way. Everyone said they were on this side of the dam. This is the nope, not who we're looking for. So well done, everybody, getting
okay,
the...
do you want the track now?
Yep, we'll have the track now. Getting that question right. Well done.
Well, nobody got it wrong. I need like 25.
Fantastic. Ah, there we go. Forward. Cindy, Cam.
Randy in Iowa.
Randy. Ginny or Jenny?
Ginny, G-I-N-I.
Ginny. In fourth place. Joanne. In fifth place.
And Jewel.
And Jewel. Well done. Getting it right, but it sounds like no one's got it wrong. I'm really impressed. Come on, Gundo, what's up with you this morning? You're a bit cold. Beautiful.
leopards.
Ah, two leopards. Two leopard tracks that came through. So leopards looking a little bit small. I think the largest that we found is about 11 centimeters. This one was 14 centimeters. And it's quite a neat track. The toes are fairly close together unless they walk in thick sand, as I got caught out the other day. But the toes are pretty close to the back track, closer than they are on this particular animal. And the toes on this animal are quite elongated, quite oval. Especially that size. It's very difficult to mistake it. But obviously on camera the size doesn't always come out. It's certainly pretty much the same size as my hand. You're looking at a big male lion, which is what this is. And it was the right side of the lion because my fingers could fit in there quite nicely. So that might be a question. That might be a question. So remember that piece of information. You never know. It's going to go all the way up the Vubu Road. But it was lion. Lion was the answer. Just in case you missed that. Now lion. So you guys are off to a good start this morning. Oh, there they are. Still there. And if you've ever wondered why there are people sitting on the bonnet of vehicles, they are trackers, and that's their job, is to actually look for the tracks on the road, because that side of the road is quite blind for me, especially with no light on it. I'm not seeing much. That's why I'm trying to pull over and have a look. But with the tracker, the whole road is open to them. They're pretty high up, much higher than the driver, and that just even you'll see the difference between the camera person and the presenter. Quite often they'll see things that we miss because they're just that little bit higher up than us. Stations in Ghana and Consos, Famba, north on Vubu Road. I'm following up. Just have a little look here. It's quite sandy. Yep. Straight. I just keep checking every now and then, just in case they wander off. I'll just keep on the right track. Look, they might have just stopped off somewhere down here. Maybe by Tamboti down.
updated the bullish. I'm looking for English team for I will remember. Now I'm on long pole. I will remember try to stand by somewhere.
Actually, it does look. I don't know. Can you see it from there? Are you a little bit close? I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, just here. It's fine. I'll just move a little bit more. There's a. It does look like it is a drag mark, but it's not over. Too much of the road. There's no more line tracks going further. There might be some more, but there's nothing actually in there apart from Jennet tracks. Oh, we're still a little bit close. There's not really anything else, no impression of anything. Very odd. So there is a couple of line tracks before it. Nothing after it, but the Jennet walked over it after it happened. Tiny little tracks inside. There's nothing else around it to say if it is. Cause, I mean, usually you'd find either hyena tracks or leopard tracks. There's a very, very, very faint track of possibly a leopard. But it's very difficult to say. Nothing much else going into the bush. I mean, you expect at least some of the grass to be flattened. Unless somebody was lying there. It could well have been. I mean, there have been some zebra tracks. There is a small indentation possibly from a zebra, but it doesn't look right for it to be that. Keep it in mind. We'll keep having a look further up the road. It could be the line also went off to investigate. It was very strange not having an earpiece in my ear. Oh, there they are again. Okay, so I think the line did possibly go off and then come back on again. Line tracks on that side, sir.
Nothing so far.
Huh?
Nothing so far.
Yeah, no, they are still there.
Oh yeah, they're now. I see them.
Yeah. So I'd love them just to be on this open area here, catching the first rays of the sun. Doesn't look like we're going to have that. How rude! Perfect place for lion.
Sure.
Excuse the pun.
That's where I would be for the lion.
Well, yeah, same. Exactly where I would be if I was a lion. Looks like they did come down here, though. Let's have a quick look. Watch my back, Seb.
Okay.
Watch my back.
Yeah.
turn down here. Spots. Why do I get the feeling they went over there? Don't you just want to just run in there and just see if we flush anything out?
How much you pay me?
No man, it's entertainment.
Yeah, for sure. I've become very famous. Did they cross over?
Yeah, there's the tracks. Not too long ago actually. Looks like they lay in the road as well for a little while. But there's a couple of tracks that are missing, so there has been some traffic up and down here. But there's quite a number of tracks still there. They did off in that direction. Possibly that single male lion who Mark was trying to find yesterday, and he's caught up with his brothers. Yeah, there's some more here. So there was at least two.
There were 3 of them yesterday.
There was 3. Yeah, so there was at least 2 there. I wonder where they were hiding. I wonder. The stations using Garland Conso's Fanborough in the northerly direction overlook the Sept line, just by Tom Water down.
Okay, copy that.
Okay, copy, thanks. I must have missed that one. Any update on the Ingwen consoles?
No, I just booked out by the person to the east. I didn't follow it.
Okay, copy, thanks. Okay, we have another one here. Got some good tracks this morning and good light. You might have to climb off of this one though. Just watch your back just in case, but they did find the more tracks of the lions going north. So unfortunately, lions no longer with us. We tried.
Okay, thanks. I'm down. Okay, thumbs up.
I just blinded myself. Okay, this one. This is probably one of my favourite little tracks. Here we go. You might need to stand this side actually, so you don't cast the shadow. Can you see that nicely there?
Yeah, just have to zoom in.
Okay, so this one, you're looking about 2.5, probably about 2 because it's fairly thick sand, but if you can see, it's about the same size as my thumb. You can see tiny little back track here, little back part of the track. 1, 2, 3, 4 toes. See how neat it is? Very small, circular, and there's. So that will be the back track. This will be the front track of the actual animal. But that's actually the back pad there. So you can't see too much detail because 1, it's a very small track, and 2, it's very coarse sand here. So you're not really seeing too much detail, but the actual size of it. And when you've got very thin sand, the size actually here, look, the size of it will fit very neatly into my thumb. There's another one there, look. So the thinner the sand, the smaller the track gets because it doesn't get displaced as much. There you go, yeah, that one's about 2 centimetres. See, I'm casting a shadow, that's why it's not working that side. So the actual length of the animal, you're looking at probably about that for its body size.
Well done. Yeah.
From back foot to front foot, looking about that. So head's probably out here, tail probably there.
Out of.
Yeah, out of shot.
Yeah.
There you go. So, questions@juma.com. So we're on question 32. So remember, the guinea fowl dung doesn't count. If you got it wrong, don't worry, it doesn't work against you. But if you got it right, it makes it for one that you may have got wrong previously. So we had the line track as your first question. This is your second question. We're going to jump aboard and see what else we can go and find. Oh, it's warming up very nice. Yeah, I actually just noticed the road tracks here. I don't know if we're going to be able to get them from the vehicle. Let me just try. We're a bit close to see the two that are side by side.
No, that's fine. I can
Is that okay?
Take it off again.
They're just okay, I was just trying to find some nice ones here. We've actually got some bird tracks. So I was looking at them going, what on earth is that? And then I suddenly realised, because because it's thick sand, it's just been completely displaced. And I'm just hearing a bird that sounds very similar to which bird I actually think this might have been. I don't know, can you see this one? This one's probably the best one. Or even this one actually. You might be able to see the feet are side by side, and that's, you can see these strokes here. There's some there, some here, some here, some here, some here, some here. This one's probably the best. This is actually about the right size. But because this bird is jumping along on its two feet, some birds actually walk, but this one actually hops. So that's why we're seeing quite a big displacement. I don't know, you're following my fingers actually. I just suddenly realised I'm going duh, 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 duh. So there's quite a big displacement here and down here as well. Quite a big displacement because of the thick sand, but also the way the bird's moving, so its momentum is pushing it forward like this. So it's obviously slipping a lot more. And actually actually here is the right size track. Can you see that?
Yeah, but this one is better though.
Which one? This one?
Yes.
This one?
Yes.
No, but that's not the right size.
Okay.
This one slipped. But yeah, I see what you mean. But if you can see this one's about the right size. So this one's about 3 centimetres. And the bird, I think, is an Aramark babila, because they do actually hop like that rather than running along like that. And I think I've actually seen this before. It's funny because I was actually seeing these marks thinking, what on earth is that? Because there was no detail, and it suddenly occurred to me. Especially when I heard the wood hoopoes that sound very similar to them. So yeah, but yeah, you're right. This one probably come out better, but you're not seeing any detail there. That's why. So that's why we're getting those scrapes along the ground. And actually, that is part of tracking as well. If you actually watch, I'm reading quite an interesting book, and also quite an expert tracker, and he watches animals and goes to have a look at the tracks afterwards, and that's also a really nice way of learning what the tracks are. And sometimes that's what I'll do if I see something going across the road. Just have a quick look as we go by and see if we can see the tracks. Tried to do it with the bush baby the other day. But it always helps, and if you do see that, then go and have a look and see how the track looks afterwards. Because that helped me, especially, and to know what type of animal it is. Especially that size. And as I say, those babblers jump like this. It's brilliant to see. Cool.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I was wondering where sound was.
Aha.
And this radio is very loud.
Yeah, I know, because I'm deaf. Should just try again for me, just see if this does work.
Check.
Aha, okay. Use this one then.
I've got 25 answers on that next track.
Okay. So who's the first six?
Still very loud.
Yeah, no, I'm deaf.
I have to be honest with you, I don't know what that track was. I was answering it either.
Okay. I've got you next to my ear, go for it. Oh, okay. Okay, so yes. Cindy, well done, Cindy. Cindy came back first. Jenny in Virginia. Oh, Ginny, sorry, Ginny in Virginia. Nathaniel. RC, well done, RC. Gilly. Just excuse me for 1 second. Don't look at me as if I'm crazy.
Not at all. I know what you're doing. I know you're crazy anyway.
Yeah, this is true. Okay, cool. Sorry, I just found some material that we can go and track that line cast with. Cool. So we got, was there one more to come through, or was that everybody? I lost count. Okay, that's the only ones that got it right out of the 25. Well done. Well done. And Mark's going to hate me, but I think this is too good of an opportunity to miss. So if you're able to see the dung, because we need a dung question on who dung it. Can you see it?
Yeah.
So, this is the third question while we're here. They're all coming thick and fast today, which is good. There you go. So this is your third question for the day, seeing as we are here. I'll go and stand next to it. I'm not going to go and pick it up, so that already gives you a clue.
A bit too far. A bit far for that. A bit far to pick up the hair.
Okay, so there's a few bits in there. There's a lot of hair in there. And hopefully you saw how big it was. Looking at probably about 5 centimeters for each dollop. I've got such a runny nose this morning. This isn't good. So me not picking it up should indicate what it is not. Right out in the open, so somebody was leaving a message to everybody about who they are and the fact that this is their territory.
Can I answer a question that's coming in between?
Yep, I can do. So questions@juma.com if you want to play along, and if you don't want to send your answer through, just keep a track of your score. Cool. Anne from Edmonton, welcome on board this morning, Anne.
You get chips there, and it's your spring coming in.
Aha. So Anne wanting to know, do we get chimps here, and is spring coming into season? We don't get chimps here, Anne. Change my gear here. We're going back to Twin Downs for 2 reasons. I've now got some material, so we can go and cast the lion track. Let's hope it's still there. And also there were some leopard tracks crossing quarantine, so we're going to see if we can follow from them. But yes, and unfortunately we don't have chimps here. They tend to be found up in the jungles, so further north towards central and northern side of the equator, around from where Sebastian's from, Gabon and the Congo and the Democratic Republic of Congo, those areas, so where there's thick jungle.
Tanzania.
Oh, and east into Tanzania, Mark's saying. Same with the gorillas as well. Gorillas tends to be up into in the forest areas as well. Same with the okapi, relative of the giraffe. Smaller looking version though. Dark brown stripes on the legs, long neck, big ears. Excuse me. And yes, Sam, we are coming into spring. We've got a lot of new growth actually. Some of the trees are starting to flower already. Mark was doing quite a lot of trees yesterday. Some nice ones will stop for them this morning. But even if we just drive by, you can see the guari is really starting to look nice and green and not as dull as it was during the winter. This one doesn't have its flowers. Excuse me. Okay, how are we doing, Mark?
Yeah, pretty good.
Oh, good.
A lot of wrong answers, but you coming back with the right one.
Okay, a few wrong answers, but who came back with the right answer for the dung? Amber, Sarah, Tam or Cam? I think that was Cam. Gilly, Donna. Coming back with the right answer for the dung. Nathaniel and Stacey. Well done. So, track 2. What were the wrong answers for track 2, Mark? If you can remember them. Yeah. The track, yeah. Mongoose and African wildcat, civet and jackal. Oops, sorry Seb. He's gonna wallop me. A dick. Dick for giraffe. A giraffe for track 2. I think that could have been an answer. Maybe for the dung. That could have been for the dung. Okay. Just if you are playing along, just make sure that you put which question it is. So track 2 and dung or 3, question 3, just so we don't get to confusion there. Because I'm sure the giraffe came through for the dung. But yes, so jackal, civet, mongoose, African wildcat. African wildcat, I can see where you're coming from, definitely. African wildcat's slightly larger though. My thumb wouldn't fit on it. If it was a kitten, it would definitely be with mother. Mongoose, again, size-wise, you're looking, it's pretty close. But the 2 small mongoose that we get here tend to be in a family. So you tend to find more than just one set of tracks. And also, you could see quite nicely the little toes are quite rounded. And not really any claws showing. On the mongoose, you tend to get this little point where the claws show. Jackal, again, you're looking much larger track for jackal. Jackal is about this sort of size. So this one fits neatly in my thumb. So what was it? It was a genet. Beautiful little genet. I'll quickly show you a genet. Not a civet either. Civet's slightly larger, and you get one track that's round and one track that's oval. There we go. This is the civet. Yeah, genet, sorry. Hold on a minute. Brain's not functioning.
Between genet and civet, huh?
No. I get them mixed up all the time, eh?
Like leopards and cheetah.
Yeah, that's it, leopards and cheetah. So there you go. This is actually the large spotted or russet coloured genet. We've got these large spots. And the small spotted is actually further up. This one is the one that I used to see a lot on my old reserve, the small spotted. And I saw the russet coloured once, whereas here the russet coloured is the one that I've seen. I haven't seen any others. There's the goose going absolutely mad down at the dam. I wonder what's upsetting him. And the small spotted genet has a white tip to the tail, whereas the large or rusty coloured genet has a black tip to the tail. But size-wise, there's not really much difference between them. And track-wise, you can't really say if it's large or small spotted. Okay, we really need to get out to the dam. Something is really upsetting this goose. Genet, and my money would be on the large spotted or rusty spotted genet, purely because that's the one that we see most often. Down to the water's edge from here. Could be there's another goose coming in. But if they saw leopard tracks over on the open area, could be there's a cat milling around here. That's another thing about tracking. It's not just looking at the ground, it's listening as well. And quite often when we did our tracking assessment, one of the questions would actually be a noise or a sound of the bush. And it was to see if you were actually awake enough to actually know what's going on around you. And I remember some impala were rutting. And I remember the question being asked, what was that? Or what was calling a few moments ago, and there was a couple of guys that didn't have a clue because they actually were so focused on what they were doing that they just weren't aware of what was going on around them. There was another day where there was baboons calling, and actually that could help when you are tracking. If you're tracking in the bush, if you're so focused, you may miss alarm calls, or you may miss something to tell you, hey, hold on a minute, there's danger there. That's why it's always good to be aware of what's going on around you. Okay, goosey goose, where are you? You've flown off. Everyone else seems to be pretty relaxed. Got heron and hammercock over the other side there. Goose no longer here.
Piece of wood looked like the monitor from here.
Sorry?
No, it's just a piece of wood, but it looked like the monitor from here.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying, can you switch the monitor on?
No. Water monitor, not Ganda monitor.
Oh dear. It's going to be a long day, isn't it? It all started this morning. I'm sure you were speaking French this morning. I had to ask Sept to repeat it 3 times.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Really tired at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah. Brain's not functioning at 5:30 in the morning.
Not
for either of us.
Plug in the right part of my brain. Plugged in the French part.
Okay, I'm hearing bats in that tree.
The green pigeon.
And oh yes, nice. Go to bed. These bats are following me. Nice one, Seb. Green pigeon. It's actually got quite a beautiful call, and sadly I can't imitate it. Can you hear those bats?
Yes.
You can? Okay, I'm gonna go and just sit underneath the
Disturb
tree
me.
and see. Let's see if we can see. Let's find me around here. So, what were the wrong answers for the dung? I'm not seeing any sign of our goose.
Hyena and lion.
Hyena and lion. Hyena and lion. Come on, Batty Bats.
There
where
was
are
one
you?
jackal.
And jackal. Hyena
No,
and lion.
2 jackals.
Jackal, yeah, I can
And a
understand
couple of
jackal.
baboons.
Oh, and baboon as well. Baboon doesn't tend to look too much like the leopard, and it doesn't tend to be in as many segments as the leopards or the lions or the hyenas. So it does look very different to carnivore, and that's what it was. It was the carnivore dung. You often find seeds and berries or the casings of seeds. I'm trying to just see if I can see where this bat is moving
Hear them,
around.
but I don't see them.
Hmm?
I can hear them, but I
Yeah,
don't see them.
I think they're on this side. It sounds like he's upset. It sounds like someone's squabbling over a roosting spot. And I think possibly they found a nice spot. The sun started rising, and now they've realised that actually it's not as good a spot as they thought. And that's why they're still chattering at this time of day. I can hear the babblers. That's the grey go away bird. You shouting at us or the bats? Okay, well, we will go away then. Sorry for disturbing you. So, yes,
Any questions in?
I see a buffalo coming down to the water. Going to turn around quickly. So goose is gone. All looks still. I'll have to just keep an ear and an eye out. So yeah, baboon actually looks more like human if you can think about it, because we have very similar diets actually. They are a primate. So may eat a little bit of meat. They'll also eat insects as well. So you're going to see a variety, whereas this was a lot of hair. And especially the Gary gang, which is really the only baboons we get here. You don't find them eating really much in the way of meat, even though some baboons can and do hunt baby impala this time of year. We don't have any at the moment. So yeah, not baboon dung. Hyena dung, you're looking for hyena dung, usually white. Occasionally it might not be, but usually white because of all the bone content they eat. And also usually in a midden. But obviously with me saying about the territorial marking there, that's possibly where you picked up on that one. Lion, you're looking at it being a lot larger in size, usually, unless it's a cub. So that leaves the leopard. Leopard dung is what it was. So well done everybody, getting it right. And it was probably Karula actually, because that was where we had Karula and the cubs feeding on the impala. So it's probably impala hair that was in that dung. So well done. Well done. Okay. Well, it still tends to go away. I heard the babblers down here too. I want to just check in the stranger's line here. let's go and cast this lion track quickly. Now that I've got my bits and pieces. Although, Sebastian, you're going to have to film it off on the vehicle. You're going to have to shield me because we've got a couple of buffalo coming down to drink. Looking at my plans. That's not nice. No one in the favourite sleeping spot for the leopards. Anybody over that side? Any of our spotted friends lying up there in the trees? There's the babblers, I can hear them. A little bit too far back for us to catch with a camera, unfortunately.
Can you just repeat what those bird tracks were that you were showing?
People want to know what the bird tracks were. They were the babblers. The babblers, they jump. So that's what it was. The tracks, they were the same all the way through. They weren't walking like this. Guinea fowl, Franklins, you'll see walking.
Not yet, yeah, they have announced for the Papa got it there during the night, and they have announced again. Okay. Yeah, so the daughter's asked for who the car. I see him go, yeah, they like better to cool the time. Did I still find my Majaleti or did I kick a leg all the time on the Buffalo? They do have Majaleti, also Kruger, by corner Majaleti and Kruger. Okay, copy. Yeah, I suppose this one English, there's quite a few English on Little Gary, but any of them look like they're going to come north. I'll give you a shot.
Okay.
Copy, I would be happy if I can...
Talking about leopards being on Little Gary, which is south of us. Okay, Seb, you need to direct me to a track. Yeah. Just keep an eye on where these buffalo are going. If the buffalo are going to go down to the water's edge over there, then we'll be nice and shielded from where they are. They won't bother us, and we won't bother them. Huh? Okay, cool. Is that one a nice track?
It's a bit in the shade.
Yeah, let's have a quick look at buffalo. Hello boys, where are you going? Yeah, I think they're going to go down there, so we'll have enough space between us not to be a problem. No, don't come this way, you want to stay down there. Three old boys coming down to spend the day at the dam, obviously knowing it's going to get quite warm today. So making sure that they can just wait out the day and wait until it's cool again to go and graze. Yeah, these two had a bit of a tiff. Say they aren't known to be polite at that age. It's funny, they still seem to need company, but it's got to be at a distance sometimes. I'll probably go down and roll in the mud a little bit later on.
Tracks because they were lions at the dam in the morning. That was nature.
Sorry, I was busy easily running into a branch. We'll say that again.
He wanted to know if you could tell that those were lion tracks because they were lying in the dirt.
Haha. Was that Virginia? Ginny?
No, Nadine.
Nadine. Hi, Nadine. Nadine asking, could I tell there were lion tracks? Because there was lions at the dam. Well, it does help because I actually came down here to look for lion tracks. But this time I definitely knew there were lion tracks, whether we knew that there was lions here or not. Yeah, I'm looking for a nice one.
Oh yeah, that one is nice.
I think that one. I just need to park a little bit further over. Still going to park the vehicle between me and the buffalo, just in case, but they're quite far out the way now. So you're going to be able to see that one now?
I can take the camera off anyway, so
Yeah?
yeah, it will be fun.
But yeah, if you can just stay on the vehicle. Just,
No, I'll stay in the
yeah.
vehicle.
Cool, and just keep a check on that side from time to time, but as I say, I think they're pretty settled that side.
Bring some down.
Yeah. Are we good?
Yeah.
So let's start this. I'm improvising because I don't have a piece of pipe that's going to be big enough. So here's the track. I'm hoping this is going to work. So I'm just going to try and use the sand just to stop the plaster from going everywhere. Doesn't look as neat, but then at least you can get the idea. So hairspray first, just to fix the track. And just to stop it losing its shape. And then talcum powder, if I can actually get it right this time and not throw it all over the track. And these things you can get just in an art shop or something the equivalent of that. All I'm doing is just putting the talcum powder actually into this little blower. Hopefully it's going to work. And that just the talcum powder actually stops the plaster from sticking to the sand, and when you do bring the plaster out, you can actually wipe off the sand. And believe me, I've done it without, and it does make a difference. So the next part is just to make the plaster, and basically pour in how much of water you think you're going to need. I can actually do that closer to the camera there. Stick. So I can do it down here. I think if you want to get technical about it, I think it's 1 part water and 2 parts plaster. But basically, actually I do need a bit more water. Anton was saying, just got to start to see the plaster settling on the surface, and that's what you look for. There we go. You can see the plaster sinking already.
Well done.
You see that?
Well done.
Yeah? You good?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the plaster just keeps sinking. And you're looking for the plaster to stop sinking. So the water's still coming through, but it's about there. Still coming through. But we are almost there. You can see that. See, it's taking quite a long time for it to sink now. Probably one more. I think that is done. Yep. So all I'm going to do now is just to pour it over the track. And just like if you're pouring cream over the top of an Irish coffee, or if you're pouring, you know, if you're doing like a trifle or something and you want to have a nice settled layer, that's not going to drop straight through your middle or your lower layer, for example, then all you do is just use the back of a spoon. I'm going to use the back of this just to dribble the plaster down, just so it doesn't disturb the track as well, and it just goes in nice and gently. Didn't do enough. But never mind.
Do you have enough there, or just?
Huh?
Do you have enough, or just?
Yeah, no, it's filled the track. I just didn't put enough in to fill the whole.
Yeah.
The whole thing. That's fine. Just goes to show how level it is. I'm not sure if that one's going to work, but never mind. Cool. So just to show you, so this is why you need a pipe. So hopefully on leave I'm going to buy a slightly larger pipe, because this one will fit a nice leopard track in there, but the line was just a little bit too big. I misunderestimated how big that was, but never mind. Never mind. But yes, I'll try and get another pipe so we can do a nice line track at some stage. But just in case you haven't seen it, that's how you do it. And we'll come back in about 20 minutes or so and come and pick it up, or on the way back from drive. So let's jump aboard and see if we can catch up with the cats. At least the track's protected now anyway. So what I might just do is maybe just add another layer if we come back. So we need to see where these other cat tracks went.
And Marla is saying that she's heading to bed now, so she's going to miss any further quiz questions, but she's got a score of 13 out of 15 for about
Oh, well done, Marla. Sure. So Marla getting 13 out of 15.
And she'll be taking Heather to the airport to go back to Alaska.
Oh, and Heather's with you, of course. I was actually going to ask. I hope you have enjoyed, and well done, Marla. And hope Heather's well. Heather's going to be flying back to Alaska over the weekend. Brilliant to hear from you. And if you can just send me Marla's email through, then I can keep a record. But that is fantastic news, Marla. Well done. 13 out of 15. And you are welcome to watch the archives if you are missing any. So we're up to question that was 33 with the dung. That was question 33.
Joe Square wants to know if you think Karula's cubs are now capable of defending themselves if they need to from predators.
Hi Jojo, good morning to you, good to hear from you. I'm wondering if Karula's cubs are able to defend themselves against predators. And their main defense, Jojo, is to climb trees. I mean, if there's a lion, not even a fully grown leopard could really stand the lions came this way actually. That was leopard. Leopard came this way.
Yeah, we saw them on, just for them on that line last night. Have you got them down your place?
No, but we saw them there too last night, but at about 8 o'clock last night, we saw a massive herd coming at the waterhole there.
Oh, that's unusual at night. Usually they're there before dark.
Yeah, it was very, very unusual, but it was a massive herd.
I think talking about the buffalo.
They must be coming across from the KMC then.
Yeah, it looked like they headed back into the Kruger after it.
Oh.
Yeah, no water.
Yeah, probably very dry.
Well, you
Okay.
guys get driving yet?
Sorry, just
Yeah, we've been out for a while, but very, very quiet now.
No, it's a little bit cold, eh?
saying possibly no water in Kruger, that's why the buffalo are making their way over this way. Or very little water.
For sure.
And they seem to think that maybe the buffalo have made their way back over there. We shall see, we shall see. Also commenting on the fact that it's just a little bit nippy still this morning, although it is warming up. But Jojo, as I say, the main defense of leopard is to climb trees. So any sign of problem, doing some hyena tracks here looking like something else. then the cubs can actually go into some smaller trees that even lions wouldn't be able to climb. Because lions can climb. It is a myth that they can't. But some lions prefer to climb more than others. But the cubs can go right onto the thinnest of branches where lions can't get, and even adult leopards can climb into thinner branches than lions can. So I mean, you're looking at a big size difference between the leopard, which is, for a big male, you're looking at about maybe 80, sometimes 90 kilos. So that's the largest. Oh, no! There was a couple of 5-inchers just sitting there. And big male lion, or even a lioness. Let's take a lioness. Lioness, you're looking about maybe 100, 150, 160 kilos for a lioness. Even a small lioness, you're looking at 120, 140 kilos. So a huge size difference. So for the cubs, I think, you know, if there was a jackal, we've seen them stand off against hyenas when there hasn't been any food around. We've seen Shavinzi sitting there and actually watching the hyena. Any more tracks? Maybe we should try Zoe's road. Or do a loop around Chelapan. Maybe another loop around here. More leopard tracks there though. Kind of put it through here. Maybe on the western side, maybe we should try there. Nothing more on Mvubu Road. Leopard might have walked through towards the lodge and then up and back over. We shall see. And other male leopards, yeah, still probably a little bit small. I think it'll just really depend on the situation, but they are large enough against smaller predators. No longer a threat from white-tailed mongoose, for example. I mean, if a white-tailed mongoose came across a leopard cub, it might kill it. Leopard cubs, when they're born, you know, they're very small. Or even a baboon. We did have baboons that were eating meat. So we haven't really seen the Gowrie gang do that. But they did take a very big interest in that hyena cub the other day. Oh, what do we got here? Hello. A few birds. Vultures. Who else have we got there? Battalier. There's a vulture following the battalier. The battalier is calling. Another battalier. 2 battaliers and a vulture. Need to see if they descend. Maybe it's saying there is something around here. Something that has been killed by a predator. Yeah, vulture's coming in. Let's go and have a look. Battaliers usually do spot carcasses. They're usually one of the first birds at carcasses. This vulture has descended just beyond the antenna there. No, the lightning conductor, sorry. Ah, Wow, there's some lion tracks down here too. They are just in the tree, just in front of us. The vulture possibly watched the battalias. Could be just a coincidence. Battalias are still circling over there, but I definitely saw somebody land in here. I saw the vulture land somewhere around here.
I can see a vulture.
I can see the vulture in there. Ah, there he is. What are you doing, vulture?
Get him on camera.
I just want to see where he's going to go. You see the battalias are still circling over there. Something happened.
Where you in the Sept?
There's the Gowrie gang.
Vultures on the ground.
Are the vultures on the
That's
ground?
not the guy again. Vultures on the ground.
There's definitely
something
there's a
there.
vulture, one of the Gowrie gang in the tree. But you can see vultures on the ground. I think we need to go and check it out. Yeah, you're right. A couple of vultures on the ground, but Gordy's watching them. Okay, I'm just going to stop here because the vultures do get a little bit uneasy. Especially being on the ground. Look at this. Two white-backed vultures. They're actually feeding on something. Yeah, there's a
something
bone.
there.
Something has happened here, but I don't think anybody's here now. Because Gordy's keeping watch and he's not barking at all. So maybe the battaliers and the other vulture maybe saw these two.
Are they feeding on something?
Yeah, there's that one just picked up a bone. I'm going to go just a little bit closer, but as I say, I don't want to disturb them, especially in this type of habitat. They're going to be easily spooked off. Yeah, there's the battalier. Battalier is coming in to see what's going on. No, don't fly. So the vultures are watching the battalier now. Possibly the vultures found it before the battaliers then. The battalier looks like it's going to come in.
Aren't we close to that old hyena den?
We are close to that old hyena den. Very close. Female battalier. We came in from Weaver's Nest side. Hey lady, you're gonna come in? Yeah, she's still flying over. I'm just gonna look up probably and see her. I think the Bachelor's confused as well, so she's coming over again. Maybe she's trying to work out if there's actually anything down here. She possibly can't see a big carcass. She's just gone. I'm going to try and get to the road. I'm hoping we don't disturb them. Let's say Gordy... Huh?
Back.
Oh, she's back again. Gordy's just sitting there. He's not giving any alarm calls, which says to me that there's nothing... No predators around. Yeah, you see he's coming down the tree as well. He wouldn't do that if there was predators around. There's one vulture. And there goes the other vulture. Actually, you should be able to see that white. Did you see the white on the back? Hence the name white-backed vulture. You only really see it when the wings are open. I should go and have a look, see what they were playing with. I think they're actually on the road, leads towards the hyena den. Where were they? Just over here, I think.
Yeah.
One definitely picked up a piece of bone.
It's one time, but it's been moved. Something moved it.
Unless that was it. So there's the old hyena den, actually. Go a bit further over. See. Where did Gordy go? Did you see him?
No.
Disappeared. think we need to check out Treehouse Dam though.
I think you need to answer some questions.
Oh, sorry. Some questions that are coming as well. Ah. Lucky, what I just said.
Ah.
If you're squeamish, don't look. But it was Impala foot. So don't look if you are squeamish. Yeah, that's what they were playing with. That's possibly from when Karula was here. Maybe the hyenas dragged it away. That's obviously what they had their eye on. We really just need to check the trees just to see if there's anything else. Oh! Is that a lappet-faced vulture coming in? Leave that there for them. I think that was a lappet-faced vulture. We need to get there. But let's just check these trees just in case.
It's pretty fresh.
Yeah, it does look fresher. Hmm?
More vultures.
Yeah, there's more vultures coming in. It's because there's vultures around. I'm just trying to think of when Karula had that kill. Because there was 3 legs that dropped from that kill, but then the hyenas would have actually destroyed them thinking about it because they were there. So maybe there is actually a kill somewhere around here. Come on, vultures. But certainly they'll be drawn in because of other vultures being here. Where did that lappet face go now? I think he flew off. You see him? Well, let's go a little bit further over and go onto that little other. No, not an easy one. Not an easy one. Come on, come and land. Come and land.
Minerva wants to know the vulture's male or female, younger or older because of colour difference. Minerva.
Just want to have a quick look underneath it. It looks like it to me. I would like it to land so I can actually see it properly. It does. It does look very big.
Yeah?
He did look very big, didn't he?
Yeah.
So lappet-faced vulture's it's the largest vulture, slightly larger than the white-backed. There goes the white-backed.
Vultures took off again.
Yeah. Well, let's just have a drive down towards the hyena den, see if we can see anything from this angle, see if we can see a carcass hanging. actually keep thinking that Karula was here just recently, and actually she wasn't. It was what, about a week and a half ago now.
Yeah,
So yeah, that should really have been. So when the legs dropped, actually the hyenas were there waiting. So and it's fresher. Well, let's just try it. But hi Minerva, welcome on board. I'm wondering if there was an age difference between the two vultures, and there would have been. It did look like it was a juvenile and an adult. I think we do need to go and check Treehouse Dam 2. See, it's just gaudy, not giving an alarm call or anything. That's what makes me think that maybe it's not too close by. Maybe we need to try on the other side of Weaver's Nest as well. As well. Further down, so we'll go back out onto Philemon's Cut Line. There's lots of nice big trees here. Still looks like someone's using this den, hey? You wonder what happened that day. Sorry, I missed the first part of that. Was that about leopard? And that's Brandy in Texas. Is that Brandy in Texas? Yeah. Hi Brandy, welcome on board this morning. Brandy in Texas. I'm just trying to keep a good look out, see if there is hanging in a tree somewhere. Hey, good morning to you, Brandy. I hope you're well. I'm wanting to know, do leopards usually lie in wait and jump on potential prey? Standing by?
Yeah, Tara, I'm on Rebecca's road. I can book her where Dengala next Bamba.
Ah,
They're coming from the east next Bamba and head east again, down by Rebecca's Road.
copy. Can you work out what the bumper was?
It looks like Mampimpan Nyari.
Copy that. Are you following up?
Yeah, I'm just trying, but it looks like it will be the same concept for the Madoda that you book during the night.
Yeah, copy that. I also boogered the Nkonzas just at Philemon's Dip just now. I've also just found a marla leg just off of Weaver's Nest, so I'm just having a scratch around.
Okay, copy. Also Daga boys on Rebecca's Road.
Copy that, thank you. Okay. Sounds like the Lions might have actually made a kill somewhere on Rebecca's Road. He's going to follow up. I thought I saw something in the tree. I need to go back to where I was. I thought I had the tree pegged and the tree's now moved. So apparently he's going to try and follow up. He said he can see where Lions made a kill. But he said it was a baby buffalo, so I'm just wondering if they finished it and moved on last night. But they could have just come back round and come back down again. Also, I had those lion tracks down here. Been the way the light was shining, but something looked very funny over in one of these trees. Could have been the way the light was shining there. But Brandy, depends on the area. And I was listening to, I think, Mark the other day saying that he has seen it on a number of occasions up in the north where leopards.
Yeah, it's there.
You've seen buffalo.
Yeah, there.
Check down Weaver's Nest.
Listen, Gala, looks like they might be. Did you check VHL access this morning?
Negative. I went down towards the dam.
Okay, copy. Yeah, it looks like my daughter and my father in contact. So, and it looks like they're following them camping yard, and them camping yard looks like they're from north. But I didn't book out and Konzo down on Sydney then.
Yeah, affirmative. I had my daughter and Mafazi going up on Vubu Road, so I wonder if they bambered and then moved to the dam.
Okay, copy, thank you.
Andrew. Good morning, how are you doing, man, Brian? I said you that.
Leopard tracks crossing over that way.
I know you were kind of like want to go all day on it. So, you want to meet in the trade? Oh yeah, if you guys can. Either Monday or Tuesday. Just with our public hire on
So yes, Brandy, they do seem to do that more up north than they do down here. The leopard down here tend to use the cover of the bush to stalk the prey, and whereas possibly they don't have as much cover in other areas, and you just have the large trees and then the grassland, and possibly that's why in some areas they adapt their strategy for hunting and jumping out of trees. I saw quite an interesting picture of leopard with kudu, And the leopard actually jumped on the kudu from the tree, but I've never seen it here. Never seen it here. Maybe if the opportunity was right, the leopards might do that here too. I'm just trying to put the puzzle together. Henry had tracks, but then, as I say, I had a couple of tracks coming down here of the lion. He had tracks. Looks like they made the kill. Apparently the buffalo herd did go north. It looks like they're trailing the herd, he said. So it could be that they made the kill, they finished off the carcass pretty quickly of a baby buffalo. They came down here, cut across. So I did find lion tracks on the other side, so maybe they cut across, went up, drank at the dam, and carried on north. Because those tracks did look fairly fresh. Well, I'd say fairly fresh. Fresher than the ones down towards the dam anyway. Had one set of young leopard tracks crossing the road. Possibly one of Karula's cubs. We really need to try and find where this impala is. If it's Karula, it could just be on the ground somewhere. We're going to just drive down Weaver's Nest, maybe go down a little bit further. Maybe come back in and just have a different perspective now we know what we're looking for. I do want to go towards Treehouse Dam too. Sorry, questions. Is there any more questions there, Mark? Hi, Tam. Good morning to you. Oh, Cam. Sorry, Cam. Because there is also a Tam. I think there's a Tammy actually. Wanting to know if lions ever take kills into trees. And no, Cam. If they do, it'll be highly unusual, and it will be definitely something to write home about. So never say never, but it's not the norm. Usually they'll have the kill, make the kill, and maybe drag it to a sheltered spot. Otherwise they'll just eat it where it falls. Still got birds in the trees. And that is, well, I'll say one of the reasons why leopards take their kills into the tree, because they are a much smaller predator, and they have still got the muscle and the power to be able to pull a carcass weighing roughly around the same as them, maybe sometimes heavier. They're actually able to drag a carcass into a tree. And that's to keep it out of reach from hyenas, it's to keep it out of reach from lions. Cheetahs also don't pull their kills into trees. And because of that, they actually run the risk of losing their kill a lot more than what leopards do, because it is on the ground, it is susceptible to a number of predators, even jackal. If jackal have got a couple of numbers, or a couple of individuals, they can actually force a cheetah off its kill. I think I might just go in where I went in and just drive on in there a little bit more, just to see if there's anything on the ground. Maybe the quarantine is place to have a look as well. But Gordy's puzzling me. Gordy should be barking if there was a leopard still around, which maybe that leg got taken there, got dropped and taken there, but then why leave it? Why did the vultures see it before? If it got dropped, hyena should have eaten it. Why is it just lying there? Crossing towards Rebecca's Road. Henry did Rebecca's Road. Didn't see anything. What am I missing? Leopard tracks also coming up here.
You might be asleep already because it came in a while ago. You're going to try and revive it.
Still looking, Janet. Still looking. Welcome to you. I'm looking for your hammercock nest. And it's likely if we find one, it'll be by accident. It'll be going off road after something. Because I'm thinking the hammercocks that we see, I think they nest down on Little Gowrie. They've got a huge nest just by the lodge on Little Gowrie. And I have a feeling that could be the hammercocks that we see. I might be wrong. Okay, go back in where we'll have another scratch around and then we'll try Treehouse Dam. Sorry Mark, was there another question there? Sorry, what was the first part of that?
Do we get the very big anteaters?
Do we get the very big anteaters? And who was that from? Tupac?
No, that's the singer.
Oh, sumac, I was going to say. I'm trying to find the right balance, not to have the vultures are circling again. I'm trying to not have the radio up too high, but high enough so I can hear. Okay, vultures, what are you doing? Sumac. Welcome on board, Sumac. Didn't know Tupac was a singer. Didn't know that. Is Sumac wanting to know about... Sorry? Oh. Vultures. Are you gonna come back for your leg, or what's the story? Are you seeing something over there? I did see a large branch that had fallen away, and possibly it was the inner part of the branch that I was seeing. See, with the leopard tracks going over that way, I'm inclined to think that It's over there, but I want to know why the leg's over here. Come on, vultures, guide me. So they're not climbing, so they're not using thermals to climb at the moment. But do we have giant anteater here, and why do we not see aardvark? I remember hearing that we had an aardvark track, but they're nocturnal, and is that why we don't see them? And that's pretty much it. They're solitary as well, so they don't live in big groups. I think let's try the dam. Let's try the dam. One of the cubs walked along here. And especially as you go into summer, they come out usually fairly late at night, maybe about 10 or so, 10, 12 o'clock. In winter, usually earlier. The best time to see an aardvark. Fairly early in the evening is during the winter time, and sometimes during the day. We had an aardvark that would pop out at night, during the day, sorry, because it was quite chilly at night. But again, quite rare for that to happen. The tracks here. I feel very lucky, very privileged to have seen quite a number of aardvark, and I really hope we do get a chance to see aardvark at some stage here. The tracks are here, holes are here that have been dug by them, so they are here. We just need to be at the right place at the right time to see one. Bless you. Bless you.
Diane has come through from New York, is going to miss. And that's really loud time. We're going to miss the second drive. So for her 5 out of 9 drives, she got 100% total, so just 80 drives out of 23 French.
Awesome, Diane. Well done. Diane coming through with 5 out of the 9 drives. 100%. So making up a couple of marks with the bonus question. Well done, Diane. Diane's having to go to bed now. Lots of painter activity around here too.
Good point, just on the Cheryl Lane. It's possible that Woody got their part of it somewhere.
Hi, Cheryl Ann. Good point. wondering if Gordy might have picked it up from somewhere and brought it with him. It is possible, but as I say, we haven't seen him. It doesn't mean to say that he hasn't been eating meat. Could have been that he was just in the right place at the right time. It is possible, but then why did he leave it? Because when we drove past, he was quite happily sitting there in the tree. But it is a possibility. It is a possibility. See, no one's gone down here today. Maybe we need to check out the western side of quarantine after all then. The vultures are still circling over this side now. Sorry vultures, I think a bit disturbed them. Maybe we just try Rebecca's Road just in case. Maybe we see something. Because actually Henry might not have been looking out for leopard at that stage. Could well be. Maybe he missed something. Maybe the carcass is still on the floor. Maybe the carcass got stolen by somebody else and all that remained was a leg. There was no marks on it. That was what was very odd. There was no teeth marks to say somebody grabbed it and... Maybe Gordy did. Maybe he did. Impala here, not making too much of a noise. And the wildebeest. This is the first time I've seen the wildebeest down here. Wildebeest, zebra and impala. Very nice too. You can see them nicely through there. Be one of the territorial bull wildebeest behind, on his own, but socialising with the zebra, just for safety in numbers.
Did you hear that?
Very peaceful here. The common zebra, blue wildebeest, impala males. a bit of algae forming there. I wonder if the hippo is still around, because I can't remember, was it? I can't remember if it was there yesterday or not. I think there was a little bit there, maybe. There seems to be, sorry, go again, Mark? There seems to be a bit of a trade-off as to hippos using the water and using the water as their toilet, providing nutrients for the algae to grow, but the movement of the water from the hippos will help to stop the algae from growing. But if you have too many hippos in one place, no, he is still here, it's just the one. Oh, and there's a red-breasted swallow just on the bank on the other side. Are you able to get that? If you follow the bank from where the zebra is, there's a couple of, there's three rocks. Yeah, they're just there. Yeah, there's still one there. Oh, flew. Battle is still flying over. You know what? I think this battle is trying to find where the carcass is. So it didn't come and settle. Possibly it didn't see what the vultures were eating. Maybe the vultures were stood over it. And it's still looking for the reason for the vultures to be around here, possibly. You're going to tell us where it is? Male battalier. Okay. Inverter is beeping. I do want to have another check in there before we go. Just thought maybe someone did eat. Maybe they came down to drink. In the sun now. It's gonna be a hot one. It's gonna be a hot one. Lovely. Sure, wildebeest is getting right in there. Goes to show there's no crocodiles here, hey? Hippo is not impressed. I think he's actually just trying to find a patch that isn't too muddy. I think that's possibly why he's wading in a little bit. Trying to get to cleaner water. And the hammercop. Gonna be waiting for any frogs at the surface of the water. Well, Mr. Zebra are waiting for you. Sorry, Mark, I missed all that. Got a lot of signal breakup there. through a little bit clearer now. Think about it, it is possible for battaliers to miss things. We did have Karula with the kill up on Urugu Road, and they did actually fly over and have a look, but they must have missed the leopards and the kill. It is possible that's what's happening. Maybe the kill is just hidden extremely well. Yeah, the vultures are still flying over that area. Oh, sorry, no, it's Battalier. Female Battalier again. See, she's still scouring this area, possibly because those vultures were there. So she's not seeing anything. But they do hunt for themselves as well. They do hunt for themselves. There's the vulture now. They do also scavenge. As I say, usually one of the first birds at a carcass. Vultures will generally watch their behaviour to go and find a carcass, but it doesn't always happen that way. We have seen vultures on a carcass first, and then battalier a little bit later. Especially there was a buffalo that was taken down by Gary Dam by the lions, and it was actually the vultures that found that one first. Quite often vultures like the lapid-face, which fly extremely high altitudes, they might watch behaviour of other vultures that fly slightly lower. They'll watch for their behaviour too. Tawny eagles also very good at picking up where carcasses are. Okay, do you want to give it a go now, Mark?
Hang on a sec.
Good afternoon to you. No, good morning even. It's because it's so warm now. Wanting to know if aardvark eat anything different than ants. And they do, they eat termites as well. That's where the impala are now. Put the impala in there. Have just another quick squiz in here. See if there's anything else that we can gain. Otherwise, I think over the road. Just also looking under the ground, on the ground, just looking if there's anything stashed away. So if Karula's made a kill, if it's hers, then she does do that. She does stash it. question before we say goodbye. Or are those peaks too close? Peaks are getting a bit too close. Okay, I think I am going to have to say goodbye, unfortunately. Also really don't want to, but those beeps are getting closer and closer. Saying the batteries are running out. I think over the road is our best bet then. Ow. Getting got from all angles, that's good. It's not good at all. If there was something here, I'm sure we should have seen it by now. Right there. Oh, they're actually going over.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That's the Battaliers again.
And like 3 or 4.
And they're in
There's
the,
one
and
right
they're in
here.
the tree again. Yeah, here they come again, look.
Still like more or
They
less
are,
around
they're
the
still-
beacon. Flying up.
Yeah, here
oh,
he
this
comes.
one's coming right here. Hello, buddy. Can you help us out, please?
They're still around here. Where are you gonna land? See, I'm still not convinced they know where it is. I'm still not convinced. I think they're still looking as well. They know something happened, they know something went down, but they just can't find where it happened. Okay. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to say goodbye. I'm going to carry on looking. If I do see something, then we'll definitely try and go back live. Otherwise, we'll have to pick up this afternoon where we left off. There'll be some more dung questions too. So the last drive for the cycle for me as well. So definitely be sending through your answers and how many marks you got. If this is your last drive, then do let me know. If anybody else has got 100% or let's say 70 to 75, let's see how we go from there. And definitely tell me how many drives you've been on, how many marks you got out of how many marks, and we'll see how we go. So take care everybody, thank you very much for your questions, thank you for joining us, and I'm really hoping that we can actually put this puzzle together and see if we can get a conclusion for you, especially this afternoon. Thanks Seb for your camera work, Mark back in front of control, see you again soon, bye for now.
Bye, Sept.